I came to win, to fight, to conquer, to thrive. I came to win, to survive, to prosper, to rise, to fly.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the Pursuit of Extraordinary podcast with Jeramy
and Kim Freeman.
How you guys doing this week? Okay, so this week what we want to talk about is getting out of that hectic, stressful mode, that reactive mode that people get in consistently, that kind of bogs them up and holds them from making progress in their day. I think a lot of people, they get so many things piled on their plate. And what happens is it just keeps piling and piling. Before long, they're like, oh my God, how can I do all this? And they literally are ready to explode. So we want to try to just kind of talk about, what's a good way to be able to get you from being reactive or overreactive to focused and centered to making progress.
That's great, Jeremy. I think it's important. I think it's something that people deal with on a regular basis. And I don't know if people know. How do you know when you're being reactive?
Well, I think that a lot of times we're reactive. Again, we're in a society where we're reacting consistently. I mean, just when you look at the way people are with their cell phones. Cell phone is probably one of the best inventions ever. It's amazing. I mean, that phone, that smartphone, has everything right there. Our open communication with the world, all of our contacts. It's your calendar. It's your phone. It's everything. Okay?
Right,
it's all the information, the internet, but it's your Facebook, it's your Twitter, it's your Instagram.
Connection to your life.
Exactly. So what happens is, our attention is brought all over the place. Okay, from one thing to the next consistently, and we don't have enough focus or clarity on one specific thing at any given time to be able to push the needle so that we have growth.
So I would say, for example, when I go into the office, the first thing that I do is I check my email. Now, I have a plan for the day. I have written out a to-do list every single day. I am definitely a list maker. I don't feel that I have a plan unless I have my list ready to go. That way I'm clear on what it is that I want to do. But I've realized over the last little bit here, I cannot check my email. If I check my email, It's an hour and a half. Now, I'm an entrepreneur, so I have that kind of time. But it's a good hour, before I realize I'm not doing anything on my list. I'm reacting to what's happening in my email.
That's exactly it. So again, that's what we do. We react to, if you get on, you want to be able to put those things like that at certain times of the day. So, if you got to really kind of stop and assess yourself again, like we talked about in past podcasts, and say, okay, when is the most productive time for me? Okay, and if you know what that time is, when you think the clearest, okay, when you have the best mental capacity to be able to make progress, you want to make sure that you put all those things that distract you right out of your life. Okay, do not pick up and look at Facebook and see what everybody else is doing and start, going down the feed and start, writing little things like love, whatever it is, and, don't do it. Just don't do it, because literally that right there is just reacting to what's going on, outside of you and not making progress in your life. Again, your emails is a great one, because your emails, you're always answering back, you're deleting the ones you don't want. Again, you can get caught
I click on shopping when I'm not shopping, and I don't even want to shop, but it looked really interesting. Exactly. And I used to use, I would say, Instagram kind of as my excuse. The first thing that would get me off target in the morning would be checking my Instagram, because I have to do it for work. Yeah. So for work, my work is putting out content for everybody. And then if somebody writes in, that I answer the message, or I, send it to whoever it needs to go to. Or if somebody writes something, that I write back. If somebody, like we talked about in the last session, if somebody has something awesome happen, that we cheer for them and that we're excited for them, and that we write, something motivational to whoever writes in. But what would happen with that is I wouldn't do any of the things for me, because I was busy working Instagram. Then I would work Facebook. Then I would check my email. And so I'm reacting to whatever has happened. I'm not in control of my day whatsoever when that happens.
And then if, of course, you have kids or something like that, what happens is, again, then they come in, you have interruptions. You have constant interruptions over and over again, whether it's your phone interrupting you, dinging, saying, hey, you got a new mail, or you've got a Facebook message or instant message. Okay, what happens is we're pulled off track, and then, of course, our focus wanes and we don't get anywhere. We don't move forward. So how do we stop being reactive okay, and start being focused to make progress, to really kind of move that needle, to make, even bigger strides, to move toward where we want to be even quicker. The bottom line is, you can set a goal and it can take you 20 years to get there, okay, or else it could take you 10 or 5 or maybe even 1. The bottom line is, if you have a big goal, we'd all prefer it to be 1, right? Okay, is it possible? Maybe, but probably most likely not. But how do we shorten that timeline to be able to increase progress so that we get there quicker? Because the bottom line is, again, we talk about energy. We only have so much energy. We want to be able to learn how to amplify energy, and that's what we're going to try to talk about here in these podcasts. But also, how can we get focused to really utilize our time wisely to be able to move toward it? Well, the way we do that is by not being reactive to everything that's going on around us, and of course have a specific purpose that we can focus on. Okay, so let's just talk about today, how to not be reactive, how to not live in that stressed state. So,
can you talk a little bit about what happens in stress? Like what creates stress in our body, and in that, the adrenaline, and when you talk about, tell us the chemicals that are produced and what happens in our body when we're in a stress reactive state.
Okay, so the things that create the chemicals that are produced in our bodies, like cortisol. Cortisol is your body's stress hormone. And why do we create that hormone? Because our bodies are made to be either creative or survival. Okay, so we're either creating something or we're trying to survive, one or the other. Okay, but what happens is this, we will produce the hormones in our bodies depending on what we're thinking and our perception of our world. Okay, so one person can look at it, let's say a crying baby, and they can get all anxious, say, oh my God, shut that baby up, I can't stand it, okay, and get all anxious, okay, because they don't like the sound of it, and it makes them feel stressed and anxious. Okay, so that thought and the way they perceive that situation, okay, the way they think about it, creates the chemicals that create the feeling throughout the entire body, okay, and that right there will create, of course, the result of how they react. So when then another person, okay, maybe it's a woman that's nurturing, and say, oh my God, they have love and care when it comes to that baby that's crying, they want to nurture. So again, it's a different perception of any given situation. So our perception is what will create our internal environment. Okay, so again, two different people perceiving something totally differently and having, of course, a different outcome as well, because that person that's nurturing and loving, they're going to hold the baby and say, hold the baby and create oxytocin, the connection hormone. They're going to create some growth hormone, which again is another connection hormone, but also helps with growth and proliferation, which is produced when you express love.
Okay, so give me the other. So you said that it creates cortisol.
Yes.
So what else happens? What other chemicals are produced during a stress state?
Adrenaline. So let's just think about this real quickly. For those of you out there that are listening to this, how many of you have almost been in a car accident before? Okay, so if you've ever almost been in a car accident, automatically your body instantly will produce cortisol, the stress hormone, but also adrenaline, so that you can react very, very quickly. Again, that's your fight or flight response. So those two hormones will interact together with each other, produced, by the adrenals. And so when your body produces that, let's just look at a stressful situation. When you have a stressful situation, I'm going to kind of move away from the car accident to just something that you feel is stressful in your life, that you perceive as stressful. Let's say that your boss tells you have to do one more thing and you're planning on leaving at a certain time, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to do this. I've already done so much already. And again, that thought, okay, makes you anxious, and of course you revolve it over and over again. So when you have that thought of stress or anxiety, your body is producing cortisol. Cortisol is your body's stress hormone. So,
And so when your body produces that, well, tell me about body fat. What happens with body fat?
Well, that's a great thing. I mean, again, we have a lot of people that come into us at Well Rounded Health and Fitness to help lose weight and to get into better shape, but they live a very stressful life. So let's say your goal is to lose body fat. Let's say that person that's consistently dealing with stress all day long, or else their perception of stress all day long, again, the only way you can manage stress is to manage your mind. Okay, so, and we'll get to that. Okay, but what's happening is this: you're thinking that stressful thought, and let's say your goal is to lose body fat, you want to get leaner. Okay, so you're working toward that, but you're stressed all day long. That thought of stress, okay, that thought that gives you stress, okay, creates cortisol. That cortisol gets into your bloodstream and tells your body that I need to take the path of least resistance because I'm under stress. Okay, so what happens is your body at that time will start to strip away muscle tissue, number one, okay, because if it has a choice between breaking down body fat or muscle, it'll always take muscle. Muscle is just simply an amino acid, very easy to break down. Whereas if it was going to break, it can't break down fat because fat takes a lot. It is more stress in the system. It has to be oxidized. Lipolysis has to create, be thermogenesis. Your body has to process the acids and toxins in the fat. So a lot has to happen to break down fat. So instead, what we'll do is we'll start stripping down muscle tissue. Okay, well, muscle tissue is metabolic. So if you're losing muscle tissue, your whole metabolism will start slowing down. So in the process of thinking that stressful thought, now you have depleted muscle tissue and you slowed your metabolism. Okay, not only that, but the increased cortisol in your bloodstream will increase an enzyme that converts glucose or sugars into fatty acids, making you store fat easier.
Oh man.
Okay.
So stressful thoughts equal storing fat.
It equals
If we
storing
think about
fat.
it that way, right?
It equals slowing your metabolism and storing fat. But not only that, let's just look at it a little bit deeper. Okay, what happens is when you're having that stressful thought, and again, you create those hormones that again tell every cell in your body what to do, because the things that you think and how you think dictates what every cell in your body does. Let me say that one more time.
I love
the
it.
things you think and how you think dictate what every single cell in your body does. So that
In an
stressful
instant.
thought, in an instant. Okay, that stressful thought, again, creates chemicals that tell every cell what they need to do. Okay, so when you're thinking that thought of stress, okay, the blood goes out of the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain where you're thinking clear, concise, and having good decision making and you can focus. And it now pushes it back to the primitive part of the brain, the limbic part of the brain, where now you're automatically now reacting to everything, okay? You're in a stress mode. So when you're in a stress mode, it's fight or flight. I have to protect myself. So you're trying to always do something for you, not for anybody else. It's all about you, okay? The only thing that matters right now is you, so you're reacting to everything. Okay, so not only that, but when that blood flows from here to here and you're reactive, the blood also flows out of the visceral system, okay, so that your body starts to slow digestion. Your body's ability to be able to absorb your nutrients, okay, and to be able to eliminate nutrients slows down. So your whole digestion slows down.
Why is that important?
Well, it's important because we need to be able to have proper nutrient absorption to have energy and fuel, but also we need to be able to eliminate those toxins, because if you're not eliminating those toxins will back up into the bloodstream a little bit, and they'll release endo and exotoxins that cause increased acidity and increased toxicity in your system, and it slows everything down and it causes deterioration. Okay, we want to avoid that at all costs, okay? And of course, when the immune system, okay, what happens is the immune system starts to weaken as well when the blood flows out of those organs, okay?
So it's a whole host of negative things
Yes,
that happen.
all kinds of negative things are happening when you live in that stress state. So we need to be able to move out of that reactive, okay, stressful state into a creative, clear, focused state. Okay, so what happens is this, okay, when you have those stressful things or stressful thoughts going on and you're very reactive, first and foremost, realize it and step outside of it, okay? Find a quiet space, okay? And block out all the noise, because what's happening is you're reacting to everything external of you, everything in your external environment, okay? Realize that what's happening internally you're causing damage, okay? And a lot of damage. So you want to be able to be aware of your internal environment. When you can control the internal environment, you can better control the external environment. So, what you want to do is just sit down, find a place that's quiet, okay? Block out all the noise, you know.
Can I stop you for a second?
Sure.
Give us some, there's certain things that I know when I'm kind of headed to that state. Can you give some things to look for when you're headed into that reactive state, when you're headed into a stressful, that feeling, like how do you know when you're there or you're heading towards that?
Well, usually you're breathing a little faster, okay? Your heart's beating a little harder. Maybe you start feeling a little bit of moisture in your palms. You're sweating a little bit more. You start saying, "Oh my God," and maybe you swear a few more times. I don't know. You know, everybody actually reacts differently. Mine is.
So I think knowing that, what are your triggers? What's triggering you? I get short.
Yes.
I get real short.
Yep.
I'm getting irritated. Things irritate me that don't normally irritate me. It could be just the response of how somebody says something to me irritates me, and I realize it's not them, woohoo, it's you.
It's me, yeah.
And I have to start saying it's me, and I have to realize, okay,
Yeah.
Before I can even
You gotta
go,
change.
Yeah, it's me, and
That's
I think
it.
the majority of the
Bottom line
time
is all
you gotta
change
know
starts
that.
with you always. All change
It's
starts
always
with
you.
you.
It's always me. it's always me.
Yep.
So knowing that, I think you have to know those triggers. What are your specific triggers? Before you can fix it, what are the things that trigger you? How quickly before you start reacting? I'm pretty good about catching it. I might hear something I say is short, or I don't get the fast heartbeat. I just I get irritated. I'm irritated and I can feel like my energy level going down, and it's like plummets.
Yeah.
It starts to plummet down because I don't have patience. I almost don't care at that moment because I'm becoming selfish, because I am becoming
well, what happens is,
state.
when the blood is back in the the limbic part of the brain, what's happening is you're also, the blood is not in that prefrontal cortex where you can have a clear, concise thought. So what happens is a lot of times you are, again, just reacting, and again, you do have a downward plummet, of emotion.
Right.
Okay,
right.
and sometimes you just don't give a crap. Okay.
Well, and maybe you're just in a bad mood. You
Yeah.
just kind of got in a bad mood in a second, and you're not quite sure why.
Yeah, exactly. So again, being aware of that is your first opportunity to change it. So you want to be able to, again, be aware of your emotions, be aware of how you're feeling, and be aware, are you in this reactive stress state? If you are, take time to remove yourself from any given situation if you can. Okay, if you can't, then you can do it right there, then and there. Just close your eyes for a few seconds, and just block out all the noise. And if you just start and breathe slowly, okay, just breathe slowly, like just in through your nose. So each breath takes about 15 seconds, okay? Just slow. When you do that, you just change your physiology. And what you're doing is you're telling your body that I must be in a safe place because I'm breathing slow. Because if I wasn't in a safe place, I'd be breathing fast and I would be, reacting.
Kind of ready to
okay?
go.
So again, you want to just calm everything, okay? Again, kind of like in meditation, people breathe slowly and you're aware of your breath. So just become very aware of your breath, breathe slowly, and that right there will tell your body, I'm in a safe place, and it'll slow everything down. And the nice thing is it'll bring that blood from the primitive part of the brain, and it'll bring it back to the prefrontal cortex where you can think clearly, okay, and have clear, concise thought to make better decisions, okay, just from taking the time to do that.
And those of you, because I speak from the mom point of view, majority of the time, a lot of the questions that I ask are coming because I've trained moms for years, I've worked with moms, I'm a mom, so a lot of times I think about kids. I know that with toddlers, one of the frustrations is that they can't verbalize what's going on inside of them. And I feel like sometimes when we're headed towards that state, we can't verbalize what's going on inside of us. And so with that, I teach that to our babies. They're 3 now. When they were 2, I was teaching them before they yell, before they scream, before they get frustrated, let's breathe together. And we labeled it wrong, but basically having a timeout. We shouldn't have called being in trouble timeout and timeout. I think we need to change the verbiage of that.
Sure.
But
Yep.
with that, taking a timeout and teaching our children to take those breaths so that we can get calm, we can get on the same page, we can connect, and then we can talk about whatever it is that's going on. And teaching it to our kids, I think it's really, really important. We do that with our children, and what a difference it makes if we can get them to breathe.
So let's just think about that. As children, you either, like in my time, you got a spanking, okay? You straight up got a spanking or you got smacked, okay? But then, of course, timeouts became popular. But the thing about it is, a child is going to see a timeout as a negative. Okay, so as an adult, would you start having the practice of giving yourself a timeout? No, you wouldn't, because you don't have a positive association with it.
Right.
So let's just think about that for a second. We want to be able to start making a positive association with taking a timeout. We all need timeouts once in a while. So again, when you're having that stressful thought, get up, take a break, give yourself a timeout, and bring yourself back to that centered state where you are, okay, right now in this moment, making positive change for, what's to come in the next moment. So if you're reacting, you can't do that.
I think too, if you're nervous, if you're anxious, when you have to speak in front of, I know you don't get nervous, I get nervous if I have to speak in front of everybody, and that's one of the things that I've learned to do is to label kind of what's happening. It's not nervousness, it's exhilaration.
Yes.
And there's certain things that happen to your body when you're exhilarated, and then I will take the time and I will breathe, and I can control my breath in that moment before I need to speak so that I can have thought while I'm speaking, because if I'm nervous, I can barely remember my name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we've all experienced, I mean, let's say you're going into a test, okay, you're like, okay, I'm so prepared for this test, you know, and then you go in to take it, and then all of a sudden you start reading the first question, all of a sudden your heart starts pounding, your ears get hot, you're like, oh my goodness, I can't think, okay, it's all, everything that I knew is kind of erased, because the part where you hold it is now that the blood's back here, and of course you can't think clearly. So again, even for test taking and things like that, again, that's a simulated stress state. Okay, your perception of taking that test has created a simulated stress state. It's not fight or flight. Okay, it's not life or death. The bottom line is the way you perceive it. Okay, creates stress, and the blood goes from here to here, and now you can't even think of one of the answers. I knew the answers. Why can't I think of it? People do experience these things all the time. So we experience them in our work, in our daily life. So if you're aware of that, you can change it. Okay, start by focusing on your breathing, blocking out all the noise. Even close your eyes if you need to. Okay, block out those senses, all those external senses that you see. Because again, if we're reacting to all of our senses and everything that's external of us, then we're not, of course, aware of what's going on internally. Okay, it's very important to know what's happening internally, because you can be causing damage and moving in the wrong direction. Okay, so again, we want to make positive change. Let's not be reactive. Okay, let's be proactive in making change and being focused to making progress daily by monitoring ourselves, what we're doing, how we're reacting. Are we being reactive? Okay, are we stressing out about every situation that comes along? If you are, then you've got to change the way you think. Again, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change always in every given situation. So your perception must change. Okay, if you were to attack a situation and say, oh my God, I can't believe I got one more thing I got to do. I can't even handle one more thing. And then you start get into this frenzy. Next thing you know, you're stressed out. But if you change the way you look at it, say, you know what? Okay, bring it on. Okay, give me whatever you got. I'll take it, I'll handle it, and I'll make it look easy. Okay, when you just change that, now all of a sudden you have a different perspective. Okay, you have a different outlook. And that right there changes everything. It changes the actions you take. It changes the chemicals that revolve in your body, that tells every single cell in your body what to do, the thought that you have. Thought is the origin of every outcome, always. So if you can monitor your thought, you can monitor those chemicals, you can monitor those feelings, okay, and you can also monitor the results that you're getting. The bottom line is we are here to make progress every day, okay, and to seize the opportunity, okay, to make progress and growth today, okay, and then tomorrow. The only way you do that is if you look at yourself and say, am I reacting? Okay, am I focused enough to move forward and make progress? Okay, am I putting enough attention, okay, and clarity to what it is that's going to move me in the right direction? If you're not doing that, okay, then we need to overcome the issue that so many people have. And that is being reactive and being consistently in a stress state that is not allowing them and that is handcuffing them from moving forward daily.
Okay, that is amazing. How, and I know this is going to seem kind of weird because it's like a little commercial in here, how does Upgrade help with that? Because I know this is why you created
Yes,
Upgrade.
that's exactly why I created it.
But people don't associate Upgrade with managing stress.
Yeah.
They think of it as energy, and when you think about energy, it's a completely different thing. But I want to make sure that you talk about Upgrade because Upgrade was made specifically for this reason.
It is, and the thing about it is Upgrade's amazing, okay? I'm just going to say it straight out. I use it every day. My team uses it every day. I know there's probably about 1,500 to 2,000 users of the product a day. We're trying to move that number up because we know that when people take it, they literally get more out of their day. Why? Number one, because the choline that's in it helps them, get their brain firing on all cylinders. But the ingredient in there, Shishandrol, okay, Shishandrol is the adaptogen that helps to keep the blood right here in the prefrontal cortex. So again, if you're stressed out, its job is to keep the blood right here so you can focus, okay, you can think clear, you're more creative, okay, so you can get more done. So the bottom line is this is an anti-stress agent. It helps you to more adequately deal with stress so that you can move in a positive direction. So again, if you're having problems, okay, with being reactive, Upgrade is your answer, okay? But not only that, you have to take the time to, again, sit back and decompress and take that time out. But this right here will help so that you don't even have that issue, okay? You just keep moving toward your day. The bottom line is, the way I look at my day is like this, okay? I look at my day as like walking through a grocery store, those doors that open up, okay? They see you, the motion detector sees you and opens up, okay? For me, it's like, I'm just gonna walk. And I'm just gonna walk
Every
and I keep
endless opportunities opening.
The first door opens, the second door opens, okay? And I'm not slowing down. I'm not slowing down for anybody, okay? I'm gonna make progress today and every single day, and that's what I want for you. The bottom line is Upgrade helps you do that, okay? It gets you on point, gets you focused, centered. The Shoshana under the helps you to overcome that stress, keep the blood right here in prefrontal cortex so you can think clearly, concisely, and make positive change. The bottom line is this product is amazing. There is no question. And somebody just wrote recently, I'm surprised this product is not viral.
I agree.
Okay? They think,
I agree.
I talked in one of the other podcasts.
Can I say that's our goal? Can we make
We
that
need to make it
goal?
viral. The bottom line is we know that people are going to be more productive with this product. Okay, it is a natural product that works amazingly. Okay, there's so much work that went into it, and we use premium, the highest quality premium ingredients. We do not cut corners on any of it. The bottom line is it works great because we don't cut any corners. Okay, is it a little costly? No, it's not. The bottom line is it is worth every single penny and then some, because if you can get done more every day to be able to move your direction into a place where money becomes not an issue anymore,
right,
then you're making an investment in yourself. That's what this product is.
Talk about that for a minute, because that's one of the things, like when people are setting their goals, when people are going after what it is that they want, they say remove money from it. Remove money. That if money wasn't an issue,
what would you do?
What would you be doing?
What would you be doing?
And how would you do it?
And a lot of people that are left-brained are like, well, that it doesn't make sense to me because my bank account says this. Well, the bottom line is, listen, you're going to always write goals that pertain to what you could achieve right now, and then you're not going to move past where you are right now.
Right.
Okay, you got to get that all out of the way and say, if money wasn't an issue, what would be the biggest, best life that I could live? Okay, and then start taking steps, okay, that move you toward that. Okay, this is a different product, a different topic that we can talk about at another time, but the bottom line is today's topic is, okay, not reacting, getting focused, knowing what you want, and moving toward it. Okay, the bottom line is, again, we have an opportunity, okay, we have an obligation to our friends, to our family, to our loved ones, to ourselves, an obligation to make progress every day, okay, so that we can make this a better world, make our world better so we can live a more extraordinary life, okay, because if you're just going through the emotions, okay, and you're just being reactive to everything that happens in your life, okay, then you are handcuffed and you're staying right where you are, okay.
And you will continue to stay there because you're not able to see, you can't see that cycle. Once you see the cycle, and I feel like that's what all of this does, the podcast, the trainings and the teachings that we do, everything that we've done up to this point, I feel like helps you to say, hey, here's the cycle. I'm not going to be in that cycle anymore. Here's what I'm going to do differently so that today I can be a better version of me. And that's what Upgrade does, is it helps you to be able to see, oh gosh, here's the cycle. I don't want to be that person. I'm better than that. I've got more in me, and I'm capable.
We all
I
got
have
more
potential, and I'm able to become the very best version of me. But I got to break this cycle right here, and that's sort of what I think this whole thing is about.
Exactly. So you know what I want to do next podcast? I want to talk about how do we create that big picture, okay, that excites us to get out of bed in the morning first thing to be able to really attack whatever it is that that we want in our life, to become more successful. What is that big picture? Of course, any that have been listening to me for a long time, for the last 15 years, I've been talking about the magic wand idea or image of where you want to be. So how do you build it? How do you see that? Okay, most people are left-brained, so they want to know all the details, so the big picture doesn't make sense to them. But when you build that big picture, okay, so that it creates some excitement, okay, inside of you, okay, that right there is what will drive you to get out of bed and to really take more action, to be able to have that purpose-driven behavior, and that's what we want for you guys. So we'll talk about that next time. Okay, pick up your Upgrade. Okay, we have it in 4 different flavors. We have sour green apple, we have the raspberry lemonade, which I absolutely love. You got to try this one. We have our original grape, which is the one we've had for years, but again, a better flavor now. And then we have our wild cherry. So get out there and try them. You can get them right on our website at freemanformula.com. Make sure that you guys check us out on all of our social media outlets, from our Instagram to our Facebook. Make sure that you write comments below, different subjects that you would like us to talk about, and get your Upgrade. Okay, what I'd like you guys to do this week is get an Upgrade, take one every day, and I want you guys to be more productive than you've ever been. I want you to write me and tell me what you've done. Okay, what you've done differently, Okay, what you've done more of to be able to make progress in this week that you haven't done before in the past.
I think we should do a contest.
Oh, I love it.
I think
love
we should
it.
do a contest. Whoever gets the most done. Send in what you've done over the week, how much more you've gotten done with your upgrade, and let's pick some winners and send a case of upgrade to the people who have accomplished the most.
I love it. Let's do it. Okay, I'm down with that. Okay, we're going to send you guys out some upgrade. Okay, whoever has gotten the most done, don't make it up. Okay, make it real.
We need to see it.
Okay,
Get some
above and
stuff
beyond
done.
what you normally get done. Okay, we want to know what you've gotten done, even more than normal. Okay, let's make today count. Let's make every day count, and let's live with greatness.